For sure. So, all right. Round table question.
Yes.
When did you realize you weren't as slick as you thought you were?
Sheesh. We should have talked about this pre.
Hey,
I'm not gonna lie, there's like a dozen moments.
You was with your mom. To shoot him there.
He brought it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say. I'm thinking about it because I definitely just thought like a dozen moments.
Alright, so for me, I remember I was young. I think I was in the 3rd grade, and I ain't want to go to school. So I told my mom when I was sick. And normally when I tell my mom I'm sick, I can stay home all day. I'm like, cool, so this is what I'm gonna do. I tell her this, and I'm gonna stay home. I ain't gotta worry about nothing. This time she decided to take me to the doctor. So I had to go to the clinic that was packed with a whole bunch of hollering and screaming kids and running around. And I was in the waiting room with my mom, and I was hungry, but I couldn't get no snacks. My mom didn't have no money to buy no snacks, so I'm just sitting there hungry and trying to act like I'm sick. And the doctor, when they finally see me, they was like, okay, so what's wrong? I give them my symptoms. I made up some symptoms. He's like, oh, all right. Well, just to be sure to figure out what you have and make sure that we get the right diagnosis, we need to take some blood from you. Excuse me? So now they bring out this thing where they gotta prick my finger to get blood. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this lie has went too far. So she goes, she takes it, send me back out to the waiting room. 15, 20 minutes later, come back to the doctor's room. And then she wants to tell me like, oh, well, all you need is some medicine. Ooh. But while you're here, I see that you have your shots coming up. Why don't we go ahead and take care of that today? So now I'm getting a flu shot and like 2 other shots on top of getting my finger pricked, all because I decided that I want to tell my mom I'm sick so I can stay home from school. Deep down, I want to think that my mom knew I was lying and she was like, I got time today. That was bad, bro. It was all bad. Okay. I didn't think that was going to be that funny to me. I didn't think so. That was hilarious, nigga. What if they was in on it?
We gonna be poking this nigga.
They didn't have to take no blood from him. They said, we got him.
That's what it felt like. Now, this nigga ain't know he had to check him. I just had no reason to give him it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't really know. I think I'm pretty slick. I don't think I ever got caught. I think the only time probably when I used to try to get away with not doing the homework, you know, how your mom got to sign it and everything, I used to forge a signature.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Your mom got to sign it?
Make sure you did it.
You learn how to scam it early? Y'all stuck on that.
I was in there, you know.
Oh, wait,
my cursive is impeccable.
Y'all stuck on that. Y'all moms had to sign y'all homework to make sure y'all did it?
No.
I think probably like that's what not even then. That's what I'm stuck at.
How old were you when you were doing this stuff?
I was probably, 2nd, 3rd grade.
Okay.
That's when I was especially just about to learn the cursive and everything. That's when you had to learn cursive instead.
Yeah. You don't know what?
I don't think so, bro. Everything's on the
They
computer.
lied to us, bro. We the generation of them that lied to us, bro. He said we never gonna have a calculator when we need one. Cat. He said we're gonna use cursive. Cat. Yeah.
Don't need none of that.
They should just taught us how to write our name in cursive. That would be good.
So the library's gonna be useful for research.
It's all on my phone.
Yes.
All of it.
I don't blame them. They didn't know, but they look like a bunch of liars now.
Mad liars. Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I got caught. She was like, so you ain't have homework this whole week? Nope. Went through the backpack and saw I had homework. That was it. When I It happened.
Take that out. Hide that somewhere.
There wasn't nowhere for me to hide it. Put it under the bed.
Put it up under the mattress. You was in second grade. Was your mom actually have checked up under the mattress?
I don't think so. That was probably that. Yeah. I could have probably did that. Think about it.
Y'all ain't never heard like no bad like tests or something that y'all failed.
My nigga, my mama was on it. You understand me? Wasn't no happen. Wasn't no happen. Like I could lie about doing homework like that, but like bad report card, nah.
No,
She showed nah.
My mom knew I was dumb. Dumb. That's what it was. They wasn't expect no A's from me, no B's from me. Say you get an F, good job, son.
Put it on the table. And just
I'm
there
saying,
you go.
hey, like you said, I had a test. Now I be in there like C. What did I see? Nah, bro. Yeah, dog. Forget that.
Nah, that's what's up.
My parents knew it was the best thing that ever happened to me was the music to start happening because it was just like, oh, there's hope. Like I remember my teachers were like, as soon as they decide like a thing for music like that, they were like, yeah, go over there, big dog. So
That's all you.
yeah, that's all you. That's all you. That's all you. I say that with a college degree now, but whatever. Like I did not in high school. Before high school and all that stuff was not there.
School system ain't nothing. All those grades and shit don't matter.
That's
It don't
the right
show your real.
message
It don't
to
show
send
your
to
real
the-
intelligence.
That's the
And
right
then they
message
out
to
of
send
college.
to the kids. Like, school ain't nothing. Grades ain't nothing. All that work.
Especially with this being like their first second week back.
Depends. It depends on when your kid go to school now. They in charter school, regular school.
Like I got some friends who, like they their kids started school like I think last week and some kids started school this week. I was just like, man, I remember when school used to start like this upcoming week, we used to start like on the 7th or something like that. You know what I mean?
After Labor Day.
Yeah, bro.
Kansas City kids.
Kids starting all the way in August. I'm looking like, bro, you start the 3rd week of August of school, bro. That's tragic, man.
I'm trying to think of one because I gave y'all one off here. And I'm trying to think of another one I can give y'all to show how slow I was. Man, there's too many. Alright,
So
I
you're not
probably.
slick. That's what
Oh,
it
I'm
is.
not slick at all, man. Not at all. I be trying. I used to try, man. No, but how about this? I give y'all the time where I actually did.
Does that answer your question initially?
Oh, no.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. That was a good one. Alright, so, man, like, alright, so I was like dabbling in drinking when I was like really young. Like, hit it successfully for years, right? So, okay, you know how you introduce, this, it's like a rule, like if you introduce a new person into a group, the whole group dynamic changes and everything switches kind of thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so that happened to me, and I ain't gonna drop no names, but in a circle, I used to be able to drink and do all kind of weird debaucheries. Well, when I say weird, it sounds bad, but I was just basically drinking and smoking at a young age.
Okay.
So when I brought this other person into what I was doing at that age, the whole thing fell apart, right? So, how can I put this? Basically, drinking, and I got real drunk. I was like 13.
Yeah.
So I'm like drunk. Like we was drinking like E&J, like drunk. So I fall asleep and I'm trying to be as discreet as I can so somebody can pick me up, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know that they was there, and they like had been calling me the whole time, and I just didn't hear. So they started like they had to come upstairs to come get me. They was kicking me to wake up. I was blacked out drunk. I'm almost sure I had alcohol poisoning. So, long story short, I get picked up, hanging out, no way for me to discreetly tell the story. Alright, so basically it was my dad. So my dad came to get me, right? So I'm black out there. He has no idea. So then, like, a friend of mine, he ends up telling my dad, like, what happened. And, like, you ever been caught in a lie, but you so scared you just can't do nothing but keep lying? And you just gotta down that hill. I was so like you ever been like caught, like I'm talking like caught, like super red-handed, like Joey Greco on Cheetah's caught, like caught, like
I ain't nobody's name.
like I'm like caught, and I'm like they're like, man, we know you was drinking. Oh, wasn't? I wasn't. I don't know if I thought
Slurring
like
and everything.
man, I don't know if I thought Jedi mind tricks worked then, but I was like, yeah, no, I wasn't. And like, and then you like it was so bad. My friend was like standing there in my face, like looking at me, telling my dad, like, yeah, that nigga was and I'm just sitting over there mad, but then I'm like, so now I'm just like I just pleaded the fifth, bro. Like I just shut up. I was like, yeah, you know what? He's like, why would you lie? Like he's like.
Can't even walk straight.
And he started putting two and two together. He like, that's why you ain't hear me calling you when you was there. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, I thought I was slick.
I feel like I have ones that are like still the statute of limitations ain't up yet. Like some people still don't know certain things about pieces like that if I mention it here, and then one family member hears it, the rest of them start to hear. Thanksgiving's coming around the corner, Christmas coming. It's all kind of weird. So I'm gonna stick to the simple one. I was like, like 6th or 7th grade. I had some friends who lived like across the street. We had a little like swimming pool in our like apartment complex. So my friends came over and we were out there like messing around, right? But like I grew up like mad like a Christian home and not a legalistic one, but just like a one of like, hey, like cussing ain't good. Like we don't cuss, right? But when I'm not with my parents, I'm cussing. So I'm out there with my homies, and like, we're in the pool playing around that, right? And I'm cussing up storms. I'm with my boy, just cussing, right? Next day, like that night ends, go home, like chill, whatever that, right? Next day, go to camp, like day camp, then come back home. My dad's like, hey, come here. I was like, okay. So we're sitting in his room, and he's like, were you cussing at the pool? Mind you, I thought to myself, I said, that's a very specific question. That didn't get some information. I thought to myself, I said, you can either lie right now, or you can just fess up because he obviously knows something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He was like, all right. I'm glad you told me. And so I got off like no punishment on the joint. He was just like, I just want you like, no, like, we don't do that like that. Like, you gotta watch your mouth. And I'm like, all right, cool. But there was that split second of like, do I try to rock out with this lie? Even though this man called me on exactly what I was doing. Exactly what I was doing. I was like, nah. So that's my I thought I was gonna be cool with that. He just did not, turns out I had pocket dialed him. That was the part.
Oh.
I had pocket dialed him and that's how he heard me. So it wasn't like he was around. I had pocket dialed him and that's how he heard us cussing and stuff like that, right? Mind you, I don't know how I pocket dialed him the flip phone. But I did.
Yeah. I hate phone.
Yeah, bro. No.
I got a worse situation.
I still get,
Pause real quick. We can edit this out later. My nigga, did your dog just grab his own bed and move it over by Sierra, nigga? And just lay down. He just was like, hey man, I don't like this by this air conditioner. And just moved it right there.
Yep.
You know he's not gonna edit this out, right? You know, I mean,
I've
like,
never seen him do this before. Drag his bed before. This is the first.
Yeah,
I just texted Frank. He acting out for company.
I'll say you trying to show him whose home this is. It's my crib.
And my man is real loud. I'm just like you talking, but I just see a bed being drugged. I'm like, excuse me?
Like, don't mind me.
but cute.
God. So, wow. So, welcome to another episode of Reset the Vibe.
Yeah.
Starting off strong, season 3.
Tricks.
That's weird when you call
I like it. It does feel like kind of weird, but I like it though.
What would y'all just want to ignore the whole season part of it? Y'all want all the songs?
No, I'm cool with it. I just said I like it. Hey,
I'm asking.
I know, but you looked at me like y'all. It's him.
It's just weird. Like this season 3, I'm like, man, it's the office for
Make
real.
it
Like,
go old. Make it go old. A little bit.
It's just like season 3. It's like, man, we shooting a movie. I'm gonna have to look at this later. I'm gonna have to get my acting skills down back now. I ain't brush up on nothing.
That's how you do.
The improv class can't help with the podcast. I'm telling you. You on to something.
So with us today, we have a special guest.
You're.
Love it.
You're.
We got James with us. James is with us today. Brother, how are you?
We need
I'm
that soundboard.
fantastic. You need a sound drop? Yeah, I
You
got
know
it.
a soundboard.
Yeah, I'm saying. You want
You
me to
know?
do it? No, I do it. Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. I was about to start yelling in Jamaican. I was about to start yelling Jamaican club joints, then I forgot they just custom to say it. And then
No pocket down. Man.
Yeah. You feel like, you better not be out there cussing, boy.
I miss this, man. We ain't did this in a while, bro. It's like, even though it was only just a couple of weeks, it felt like we ain't did this in a while. How y'all been, though? What y'all been on? What y'all been up to? I like that answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good.
Billy B. Joint.
That nigga said, like, he's like, it's been a couple of weeks, bro. It don't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah.
I text y'all to like 1 week of us not being together though.
Like,
I miss y'all niggas like.
but no, it's the trauma that pepper. I ain't like that. Don't. It does not feel like it's been that long. Like I'm like, nah, nigga, it was like yesterday.
So that pain is still fresh. That's a fresh
You know,
wound.
Thomas,
That's a fresh wound.
I mean, I just been, like, I went on vacation. That happened. It was a staycation, but it was cool. Yeah, look, it is. And I've just been writing and working on my novel, bro. Like, that's pretty much been it. I ain't even did no open mics or whatnot. Like, I just been chilling. And we back. You know what I mean?
Now, when you write your novels, you be outside with it? You just stay inside, lock yourself in a room? You be out.
The literal, the figurative outside. Also, when somebody answer the question, what is the outside? Like we outside, but we outside? I don't know that I get it yet.
But
Do you go outside in the sun?
Do you go to Starbucks? Right?
No, so when I
Pumpkin
wrote,
spice.
when I what was it? When I was writing, I was writing one of my books, but I remember specifically going to Starbucks, and it's not because I needed to go. It's because I just wanted to go to have the excuse of being on my laptop, drinking something, eating something at a window at a Starbucks, feeling fancy. I just wanted to knock that off.
Yeah, it's kind of like a flex, low key. Like, that's how you feel when you in there and start being in the coffee shop working on something.
Yeah.
It's a flex. Like, it's not like you could be more productive at your house, but you want to be in the coffee shop, like with your cup and everything like that, feeling like,
Yeah,
I made it.
But you'll only be getting like 3 sentences in.
You're like,
Nothing. No work done, just 3 sentences.
I definitely did that one time. Put in the coffee shop and got 3 sentences in, was like, that's a good day.
No, that's a fact, man. Like I remember doing that. Like I did that like a couple of times. But as far as the novel though, no, it's all been in the crib.
Yeah.
It's all been in the crib. I just been trying to work it out and trying to get it ready and be able to put out before the end of the year, hopefully. But I'm not rushing it though. Like I've been telling people, like writing a novel is like different from me just writing a poetry book. Like it's a lot harder. Like with poetry, like it can be open to interpretation. You know what I'm saying? Like I could write something and I know how it means. I know how it's supposed to feel and what it means. And then y'all are reading, y'all be like, oh, I get what you're saying, or like, oh, no, I get this from it. Like that's cool. With a novel, like I gotta sit there and I gotta be descriptive with every picture of the scene that's happening with the characters. And not only that, like I gotta make up the rules of the world because it can't just be like anything can happen. If anything can happen, it's not gonna be interesting to read. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be some rules set up for that. But not only that, I gotta make you care about the character. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta write each character and have them have strengths and weaknesses and make them make y'all care about them. So like it's tough. You know what I'm saying? But I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with it. But that's what I've been on. I don't think a lot has happened since we did the pod, except what majority of what we're going to be talking about today, which would be
I forgot about Stanley, bro.
Come on.
Hey,
Don't do
hey,
stand like
Hey,
that.
remember,
Stan,
Uncle Cam didn't forget about the Stan.
Stan
Don't worry about that.
been acting up today, man. Stan been acting up in front of company, bro.
He chilling now. He cool.
Yeah, chilling now.
He cool.
Damn.
let that little baby sleep.
No, man. No, we got a dog. We got a dog.
It was Cam with the pet activism. Hey man, you got a dog, bro.
I'm Uncle Cam to that dog. It don't even matter because he can't say it back to me, but I know what I am.
Hey man,
Oh,
hey, man.
oh.
Ain't nothing really happening, man. You got
Oh,
a
Cam
dog,
love the
bro.
kids.
Yeah, I did. Come on, man. Don't disrespect the dog.
No, yeah, I got a dog on vacation. I wanted a dog for a long time, ever since I was a kid. He's cool. Like I know I'm giving him crap now, but he's a good dog though. He don't bark in the crib. He's housebroken, house trained, whatever words you want to use for that.
Gotcha. Like you broken into the house. The house broken seems kind of interesting. Sounds good. I'm just. No, when you said it, I was like, house broken. That sounds
That's a
painful.
slave dog.
Damn, depressed.
I've missed it.
That's a slave dog.
I have missed it. No, but yeah, no. He's a good dog, man. He's a good dog. But getting to like the meat of potatoes today. Yeah. So a lot of today's conversation is going to be about Donda and certified level boys.
CLB.
Yeah. I know I've been trying to wait to talk about it with people ever since I heard both of them. And I'm interested to see what y'all think, because we ain't talked about this even off air about what we think about the albums or anything else like that. So, anybody want to start off with like what they think? Or do we, like, how do we want to do this? Do we want to tackle this by just going over one at a time? Or we all talk about Donda one round, we talk about CLB the next round?
I see free for all this thing.
All right, bro.
It's
Like
getting messy. What?
What happened today?
What is it?
You see it now too? You see it now too?
He's like, let's just get this over with.
Because we tired of these albums, that's why.
No, like I'm.
You tired, bro? Let me be tired. Let's just roll with it, all right? CLB. First of all, I want to know which one you taking over, and which one's going over which one, and then we can talk about it. But you so you taking CLB or Donda? James, what you got?
Donda.
All right, Cat. There you go. Nah, you good.
I'm taking CLB.
Okay. Darius.
I ain't listening to either one of them. I don't know.
So then you be the impartial party to this whole thing.
I like how you said that. That's
Hey, you know, it's all you can be. You know, listen to it.
progressive area. Like you do what you supposed to do.
Yo.
Yeah, you one job, dude.
Man, I'm going with Donda.
Why?
I'm going with Donda. Here's the thing. My bad, I'm sorry.
You don't like Drake?
No, I love Drake, bro. Drake is dope. I think Drake does what Drake does very well, but Drake did what Drake does again, the way Drake does it. And so when I look at it, like Drake, like COB had bars, cool, but Donda did what Kanye does, which I appreciate more. He sonically pushes the needle, and he did that again, and it was dope. It was dope. So that was my thing with the when it comes down to like it better. I'm like, man, like you know what I mean. Like in the day, like of course I feel like CLB is an easier listen, because it's just a Drake album. It's just a simple, easy listen. You never get in a Drake album and be like surprised. Like he just does what Drake does.
Yeah.
But with Kanye, like there's a little bit of mystery of like, okay, what's he about to do here? What's he gonna do here? How is he pushing this button right here? And I like the themes that he was talking about in Donda. That like, you know what I mean? Like we can get technical on that, right? But there's just like there was a bigger like theme to that other than CLB, which kind of just felt like it was a fancy name for like I'm the best rapper and I'm gonna show you guys I'm the best rapper again. Like I kind of thought when I heard Certified Lover Boy, I kind of thought we were getting R&B Drake.
I thought so too.
And I was like, cool. Like, that's what I was excited for because I'm like, ready for the hardness in his head, whatever that, right? Like, he gonna talk love songs, he gonna be his R&B tip, right? And then we got a rap album, and I was like, okay, like, cool, because you can do that. But, like, you know, I think if I'm looking at it too, like, I felt like I appreciate the fact that I felt like in this album, Drake finally kind of did that thing where, like, it felt forever he was like, they don't respect me. They're gonna respect me. I'm gonna be number one. I will be the best. You guys can respect me as the best. And this album kind of just felt like he was just like, I'm him now.
Yeah.
So like, you know, do as you will. But I'm the king of the other mountain right now, like that, and that's what I am. And I'm like, I'm like, bet I respect that because you are what you are. You know what I mean? That's what he is. And it was cool. It was cool to hear that tone in his voice as somebody who's like rocked with him since like YouTube days. I'm like, it's cool to hear you at the top of the mountain talking your stuff, King. Like, hey, like nobody can take that away from you. So.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. So like I was saying this over here real quick. I didn't listen to Donda. Like now I've rode and like me and my brother was riding around and he played both albums. I kind of like half-heartedly listened. So I really didn't like that way too sexy though. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Once he put a Future on that, bro, it's almost a done deal. It's a hit. Hey, it just is what it is. But when I heard like a couple songs from Donda, but that goes to show I know my brother's saying CLB that's the one.
Okay.
That's the one. But I just heard it, and then it's like I agree with you that like I did hear a lot of that. Like he like, man, I ain't gonna say. I feel like you like it just was like he was just stating like, well, I've submitted myself here, and regardless of y'all can say what you want, do what you want. If I drop an album, it's gonna go crazy. But Donda did the higher numbers, and I'm surprised. I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised.
I think for a minute, but I think CLB actually caught up to it.
Now,
Yeah, I think so.
so I think I heard this was like the day before yesterday. They were saying like Donda hit the highest.
Yeah. I think Don was like 92 country breaks that put 100 something like that. But like that's Apple and that's other streaming. I don't know how this works. But like you going off what you were saying, Drake makes music that people want to hear. So like he caters his music to like what's gonna sell.
Right.
As to what Kanye does, he's gonna make music that he wants to put out. And it's funny because he always sounds like people go and follow it. I'm just wondering, like, does Drake ever make music that he wants to make? Or is he always just making music that he knows is gonna sell or that people want to hear? That's the formula that he wants to do?
All right.
That's an interesting question.
It is, and there's a lot of things. This is why I asked which way we want to do this, because this is not. We can freestyle it, but questions like that is gonna come up and it's gonna expand even more and more. But that's cool though. I'm glad that you asked this. So let me address that real quick. I don't think Drake makes all the music that he wants to make, right? Because when you listen to when Drake first came out, there was like a lot of lyricism and everything else, right? Not saying it's not a lyricism, like he doesn't do that now, but it's more of a, like you said before, I'm trying to sell records. But back then, like, you could put him on a track with somebody and like he's automatically live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's just a regular track that ain't gonna sell or not, or it is gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he even said that before, like one of his rhymes or something, like, you know, like I could make conscious rap or something like you do too, but it's just not gonna sell the same. Something along lines like that. But the reason why I said that I rock with certified over Donda is, for me, it's an easier listen. And it's not the fact that I like Donda over CLB or vice versa, because if we're going to keep it honest, trying to really compare them, it's kind of hard to compare. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Sonically different.
yeah, they're different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to compare them like that because, to be honest with you, I don't think this is either one of their best projects. For me personally, and I'm saying this to me personally, I think they both kind of mid. For me personally,
Hold on. But shout out to Drake for ripping the Masengo joint and
Yeah.
putting it on
Towards
Champagne Poetry. That was dope.
no,
I just gotta give him his due on that. I'm like, yo, that was
no. Like I'm saying, like for me, and that's definitely a good shout out. But for me, it was like me listening to both of them. Normally, there's a song on their albums or a couple of songs that I could play back more than once, and I could just be jamming to.
Yeah.
I didn't get that this time around.
But
Really?
mid is strong.
I thought that so when
you say mid,
Yeah,
that's like
yeah, I'm listening though. Go ahead.
so when Drake dropped Laugh Now, Cry Later last year,
Yeah.
I thought that that's the kind of vibe and stuff we was gonna be going to. That was a cold song.
Yeah.
Wasn't even on the album. And I'm looking like, you could have just threw that out there and you could have just, inflated your numbers. You know what I mean? It's like that would have bumped it up. But I get it. You want to do it his way. That's not what you want to put on there. That's cool. But when I was listening to it, I'm just like, yeah, there's some nice beats and you talking, but it's like, this ain't nothing I'm going to be going back to in a week from now. This is not an album that I'm going to be just playing back and forth for the next couple of weeks. For me personally, and with Donda, it's not like Donda's a bad album. It's just that on Donda, there's some artists and whatnot that I don't particularly listen to. So when you have a song with them, I kind of automatically tune it out. It's just like, I don't really listen to it like that. Like I said, all of this is me. This is my problem. This isn't a problem that affects everybody else.
Yeah.
This is just my thing. And I'm a big Kanye fan. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a big Kanye fan.
That's nice.
But
you got a preference like that.
it's just, I'm just saying, I'm fans of both of them. I was rocking with Drake since, what was that, Home for Improvement or something like that? So, like, I've been rocking with both of them for a long time. It's just, for me, I just don't feel like either album does it for me.
Yeah.
And that was disappointing because I was hyped. Because I did not listen to any of the Donda stuff. When, like, he was going on his little tours and shows and whatnot. I didn't hear any of it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go into it fresh and have an experience. I remember when My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, and he had like the Good Fridays, and like he had that mini movie. I'd heard the whole damn album.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe like 2 songs.
Yeah.
So when I finally heard the album, I was gonna like, this is cool, but like all my hype just went down. I was like, I've heard this already. Good songs, great songs, but I've heard it already. You know what I'm saying? And with me, and this is once again, it's one of my problems with it, right? It's nobody else's problem with it. But I just assume with Laugh Now, Cry Later, we be getting stuff like that or beats like that or whatnot that I could really vibe to and be like, yo, this is something I can run back. Because I ran back that song, I don't know how many times, because it was fire to me. For me, there's a couple of songs on both albums that's cool, but it's not anything that I'm going to be running back to play anytime soon. Like, if I hear it, I'm going to let it rock. But I'm not going directly to Donda or CLB to press play on a particular song.
Can I be honest with you? I'm not mad about anything you're saying. I'm just surprised you call a Kanye album big. I'm just a little taken aback on that. It's like,
You should have
dang,
shown me when Yeezus
this was
came
like,
out.
what? Hold on.
When Yeezus came out, I called that shit trash.
You bogus. He's just cold.
And he knows
Now,
He's just cold.
now, I can appreciate it now. He was ahead of his time back then. I wasn't
Yeah.
rocking with it. Now, I can appreciate it. I can listen to it in its entirety. It's fire.
Yeah.
Back then, no.
But
But see, I'm going to say this last thing. With Kanye, Like how y'all talking about before, like pushing the needle and whatnot and the sound and everything else like that. Kanye is always experimenting with his albums and trying to do something new, which is cool. The problem with that is it's not always gonna come out 100. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With Drake,
You mean it's not always gonna come out 100 when you first listen to
When you
it,
first
or
listen to
it's just not gonna be 100?
When you first listen to it.
Cause
you first listen to it.
when we first listen
Okay,
to it,
all right.
Now with Drake,
With
with
the
Drake,
left foot.
With the back tire, but
with Drake, like y'all was saying, like Drake, and I've seen this take as well. Like with Drake, like he does what Drake does best. Like he doesn't move outside of that. So it was just more Drake. And I think at this point in time, with me, how I listen to Drake, it's like I want something more, or at least at the top or the best of what you can do with the stuff that you do. That's why I said, compared to everything else that he's done, it's mid to me. Comparatively. Now, if I'm not comparing Donda or CLB to none of their previous work, it's good albums. Comparing it, no, it's mid to me. And that's all I'm gonna say. So
here's where I'm at. I think the way you feel about Yeezus is the same way you're gonna feel about this album, this Donda album, because this man sonically pushed the needle, and the next year everybody's gonna be doing the exact same thing he did, and like, cause he's just that. But that's what he does. Like that. I think this from an artist perspective, like I'm valuing the pushing of the needle part more than I am the guy who's trying to make records. Cause like sell records, right? Yeah, much respect to Drake, right? But he's selling records. Like this is he teeters on the line of hip hop and pop. He does.
Yeah.
Like, he does. That's he teeters that line. So like Donda is just like a complete like piece of art. My only gripe with Donda is the part 2 thing. I didn't like that part because it felt like it made the album unnecessarily long. However, did the baby kill his verse on Jail Part 2? I thought that was amazing. I thought it was like super dope, right? But it just, and like, there was something wonky about the way that it was let out like that. It felt kind of weird. So they're not perfect. You're saying mid. I can't say mid. I can't say mid on Donda. Okay? I can say mid on Certified Lover Boy only because I hold Take Care to such a high reverence.
yes.
Yo, but hey, and right.
And even
so,
even Views, low key, like
views?
I mess with Views heavy, bro. Listen.
Now,
Views had to grow.
now, if you're reading this, it's too late. Yes.
Really?
What?
Go ahead. Get off. Get
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no, get off.
Get off.
Hold
Get
on.
off.
Hold on. If you're reading this, it's too late.
No, it's good, but better
What?
than Views.
Hold on. What was the one?
I still feel like if you're
What
reading
was
this
the
too
one
late,
with the
it's
sky? What was the one where he had the picture of him as a kid with the fro?
nothing was the same.
Fine.
That's different. We're talking about two different things.
That's above views. I even put that one above Take Care. And Take Care I listened to for years.
I think Take Care has Drake at his best as far as balance. I think that's
For balance.
I think that's what makes it for a lot of people, because there's a balance of rapping, there's a balance of singing, and it's not like Scorpion where there was like a track A, track B type of shit. Like,
And I would even say though, at Take Care though, that was Drake pushing the needle, because nobody was doing it the way he was doing it at that time. No, he was the best at doing both.
Okay. Here's my thing with Take Care. Buried Alive brought that album. It brought that album to life for me. But also, Over My Dead Body. Matter of fact, let me just forget it. The whole song. But when Nothing Else Was the Same came out, I did the exact same thing. Like, that was my new Take Care. Like, that was just, and I don't like, but Tuscan Leather, 305 in my city, come through.
It was good. It was good.
Listen, all right.
But if I'm looking at Views in terms of like,
Views from the 6th
so since we're talking about
you
Drake,
like Views?
since we're talking about Drake right now, where do y'all rank CLB in his discography?
Well, that's a good question.
I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Go ahead.
I don't really think he has that many good albums.
Okay.
don't think he has that many classics. That's just me. He has a lot of good records. He
Okay.
puts them on albums all together, like those albums. I'm not sitting there listening to it fully back. I'm sorry. That ain't gonna happen.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Like I don't love it, but I'm hearing you because you have a good point to that. They're like I don't know that I'm like Take Care to Me is a classic, okay? But outside of that, like we talking classic, like Holy Grail classic. I don't know.
Now, like I'm just gonna put him I'm gonna put him with his peers.
I don't know where I'm sitting right
I'm
now.
gonna put him with his peers, man. I'm gonna put him like if I go and listen to J. Cole's albums, I can listen to those straight through. I can listen to Kanye straight through. I can listen to Kendrick straight through. Drake, there's so many skips on his albums. I'm just like, I can't listen to this song.
Okay.
Okay, let me put it like.
Now,
Okay,
you just,
hold
I'm
on.
not gonna let shit be. I'm gonna get back over here.
Hold on.
It's a hurt. I mean,
Alright.
Okay,
a whole
let
lot
me,
of skips.
okay.
I mean,
I'll
at
put it.
least three.
I'll put it like this. I agree
3,
with you
4.
half on this. So let me say this. I don't think his songs are put into the right order on this album for playability. I think I don't skip a song to 9 times out of 10 not listen to it. I skip a song because I want to hear something else before I hear that song.
Okay.
I like the order. Like I'm coming in over my dead body for sure, but I might go straight to Cameras. Then I might go to Buried Alive. Then I might go to Underground King. You know what I'm saying? Then I might go to HYFR. Like I'm not going to go all the way down the order because I don't necessarily like the order. But I will double back. Like I don't feel like listening to this right now. I'm gonna listen to this. Then I'm gonna listen to this because I like that kind of.
It makes a whole bunch of songs that you're supposed to take out and put in a playlist, basically.
No, but
Because you don't want to listen through it the whole album, so you picking which songs and you put it in a playlist and that's what you like.
I put it in the order.
And I feel like that's a lot of great music.
It doesn't make it bad music. It just
I
doesn't
mean,
make it
I
great
didn't
album.
say it was bad. I'm just saying
No,
it's
you
not,
said
it's not
it's not.
good albums. It's just not the best albums for me.
And I think it's the distinction you're trying to make. They're not bad. They're not average. They're just not excellent.
They're not albums that I want to listen to. It's not something that because it's easier now because we got a phone and we can skip through it.
Right.
Now let's say if we was back in the day, and we got to go put this on a record player or something, I might be turning it off halfway through.
I'm not.
I feel like you just trying to start a fire. In your face, like you just like
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I think for Drake, I think a lot of his singles, Lucy's, B-sides, whatever you want to call them.
Just Lucy
Pick
be
up,
fire.
pick up
That's what I'm saying.
Just Lucy.
I just remember an old head though. Hey, pick up my Lucy.
Hey, you got I'm square.
Like I think if he kind of sort of did this with like the package and whatnot he did not so long ago. But
Package.
The one with lemon pepper freestyle and the
Scary Hours too.
Scary Hours too. Yeah.
That was Ones and Needs, and that was
the one with Baby on there.
No. He talking about the one that got a mix. He talking about the one with the mix of all his old stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, no.
It's called Care Package.
That was a Care
there we
Package.
go.
That's a different
No.
one.
I'm saying. So even with Care Package, like I feel like with Care Package, all of those Lucy's and whatnot, even other ones that he couldn't include on that, like Copyright Infringement and all that stuff. I feel like those, if you were to make an album of those, if you were to make an album of those back in the day when they were relevant and fresh and whatnot, it would have been more.
Those are the classics.
Yeah.
That's the kind of fair. That's
But
kind of fair.
I'm not saying, like, because I think Take Care is like his classic too.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are waiting for him to have that defining classic, where like it's universally, like even with James, he would be like, all right, yo, this is fire. I can listen to this all the way through. I might not necessarily think it's a classic, but I can listen to this all the way through.
Well, he hasn't had that since I feel like So Far Gone. I can listen to So Far Gone all the way through. But that's like mixtape now. They don't count it as the album, but like.
Okay.
But like Take Care is not a classic to you.
So can I put this point in real quick? Since you brought up Cole, I skip Topaz every time. On 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Central Pay?
No. It's Topaz, right?
No, Central Pay.
You don't like Central?
Is that what? No,
It's called Central Pay.
It's out.
It's a French or something.
Yeah, I skip it every time.
Really?
That's a
Every
bopper,
time.
bro. Like,
he's on his way to Hollywood. That's.
And I get it because it transitions right after since the young enough and Jimmy getting rich.
Yeah.
And how it's like you talking to the genie, then it transitions like a Wizard of Oz kind of thing. But I skip that one every time. That's the only skip on that album. Okay, not necessarily. It's one at the bottom. I can't remember the name of it. But
What
that's
is
it.
it like Saint Tropez? Are you talking about what? Hello? If you said Saint Tropez, I was thinking you were gonna say hello. But you know, I mean, I listen to that.
I just skipped them two. But other than that, I get what you mean by a classic. That is a classic. Like I would buy the line.
Yeah, like
That's
same thing with like Damn. That can go. Damn go all the way through. Like I felt.
to it.
You ever listen to Damn?
It's entirety.
No, I don't think I've heard any song about Humble.
Well, you
I don't mean if I heard like the single like Humble was on there, right?
Humble,
Yeah.
Love.
You gotta see it. It's dope. It's dope.
I mean, To Pimp a Butterfly, probably all of it.
You got to for that one because that's like a concept album. Like it goes like every song plays off of the other one kind of.
I hate it. Butterfly.
Hate it. Butterfly.
Listen, I was gonna listen. You either like it or hate it. I hate it. Butterfly. Okay, hate's a strong word.
Because I'm like,
Hate's
yo.
a strong word. I dislike Butterfly.
Okay.
I heard it all the way through. I guess after coming from Good Kid, Mad City, I was expecting.
You weren't expecting him. You wasn't expecting him to switch up and do the jazz and thing on that album. You didn't like that.
Yeah,
But it
that
was,
thing.
but like low key, it's like the very same concept. It's just a different style. It's just G-Funk. It's
G-Funk, I mean, talking more. I mean, more of like it's different because like Good Kid, Mad City, it's like the same vibe, but like they talk about different things, but it's like the same vibe.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, the rap, the beats, and everything was different, but the concept was the same. How he tells stories, just like through Good Kid, Mad City, it was just in a different way. It's just like through like G-Funk, the jazz,
That's what I'm saying. Like that
swinging, like that was okay dope to me. That's what made it.
see me that threw me all the way off, bro. Like I couldn't get busy with it. But getting back on to Kanye and Drake. So where do y'all rank Donda?
All right, so I'm weird. I'm not like everybody else. I think I like Late Registration the most. That's my favorite Kanye album
It's an underappreciated album. Underappreciated.
because I think it has a few of my favorite Kanye songs on there.
I'm not judging you.
It's alright. It's
I'm
alright.
not judging.
But I mean, I think a lot of his albums are good, except for probably what Ye. I think
I
they
knew
all.
you was gonna say that. That's the reason I was looking at you like that. Because Ye is literally my favorite. But go ahead.
Oh,
But go
okay.
ahead. But go ahead.
So we're gonna do Late Registration, Graduation, My Beautiful, My Twisted Fantasy. Probably 808s after that. College Dropout. Jesus. Then probably Donda. Jesus is King. Yeah. Oh, but I forgot that. No, I forgot about that. That Life probably goes right after Donda. At this point.
Personal preference, I like Ye. But I would never say My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy comes second to Ye. If that makes sense. Like personal favorite, I just like that. I just think a lot of people didn't give it its due diligence. Like, I think since it was right after his whole little mental breakdown, bipolar thing, it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth musically.
It was only 6 songs.
And it was 6 songs. It was short, but literally, I think the only song I didn't like was Violent Crimes or whatever. Like, I think that was like the only song I just didn't like. But no. No, that was the one. No, that was the one when he was well, I liked the song. I just didn't like how it came in. Like, oh, I thought about killing you. I'm like,
Oh, no, that's the opener. I thought about killing you. What's that? It's not that. What is that?
So there's I thought about killing you.
I thought about killing you.
Yikes, all of mine wouldn't leave. No mistakes, ghost town.
okay, so yeah, I got it mixed up. I thought about killing you. That's like the
I like
only
that
one
one.
I don't like. That's the only one I don't like. Every last one of them though, that's all man. It's dope. It's dope. I just think because it was after that whole thing in the MAGA hat, and it just everybody was just like, yo, that album trash, my nigga, because you ain't stand with the people. But low key, the album was good.
I
And
think
I
I'm
think
like,
people just gave him flack because of his political
Yeah.
affiliation. But will I say it's better than My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy? Never. Never. It was way more songs and it's just a way better collection of music. But yay with how like the music flowed and with then he put a banger on there. He really didn't have to put All Minds on there. It was just like he threw the banger on there just like, huh. And then it was fire. But I would put
I think he was chasing on that. That's why. I think he was chasing. He was chasing the sound.
damn, but it was still good. But I had to listen to Donda. The only song I heard off Donda was Jail. So I really didn't hear it. So I would have to listen to it and then place it in the category. But I heard a lot of songs from Certified Lover Boy, and I would group Certified Lover Boy and Views from the Six together because I just didn't like Views from the Six, and I didn't. Oh, and what was the album with Portland on it?
that was Portland. That was
That's free smoke. Free smoke.
What
so it was like it was a playlist. I forgot what you call it. More like
More Life. Yeah, I just really didn't like that album. So them three I would like put at the bottom. I didn't like it, but I liked Portland and I liked the More Life. I don't know if it was an interlude or.
you ain't like Teenage People. You ain't like Teenage People either. What are y'all?
Wait, hold on. Hey, wasn't Gloucester Road on there?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah, that was fire. I ain't gonna lie, that was hard. That was hard.
It's a little big.
That was hard. But like I just like certain songs from it. But like as far as like the album in its entirety, I would group them three together and I'll put it at the bottom. I really think y'all don't give enough credit to If You Read This Is Too Late. That was hard mixtape. Like
Think for
energy.
me, when it comes to skips, like James was talking about, when it comes to like his little playlist or mixtapes or whatnot like that, know where the skips come in for me. Because not everything hits.
6 Man? Madonna?
Madonna's a hit, bro.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Madonna,
Bro,
Madonna's
it's
What was the one? I gotta go out and get it. Want you to know where I've been. That's why I keep telling you over and over again. What?
that had a bunch of The Jungle is on there.
Okay.
I
agree. Douglas.
I was running through the six with my
no, I know that. No, like that was hard. Like I remember seeing like clips on Twitter or whatnot, people like at the shows and like performing that song, and everybody was going nuts.
Bruh.
I would have killed to be in that audience going up to that. Like that was dope. That was dope.
But if you read this, bruh, like,
Bro, I'm not saying that it's trash. I'm just saying for me, that's when a lot of the skips come in.
bruh, that album was so hard they had to take it off the market. The mixtape was so cold, bruh. Do you understand? They had to take it out. You know you can't. You remember you used to be able to get a free download, bro. You cannot find that nowhere. Believe me, I've tried. You cannot find that nowhere.
So I didn't put Certified Lover Boy in his discard. I don't know. It wouldn't be hot for me. But the thing is, with Drake, I go back and I start to like his songs. I don't like it the first time through. So like Scorpion, I hated it first time through. But like I go back, like there's a whole bunch of songs on the B side that I'm like, yo, these are probably better than some of the songs in the front of the album. So like, hopefully, maybe I go through that with Certified Lover Boy. But right now, like, it probably won't be on the tail end. It's just
With Scorpion, B-side was skips for me. I got some skips on that.
Try it again though.
Jaded.
Happy
That's
birthday.
how you feel.
Happy
That's how
birthday.
you feel. Happy birthday, bro! I played on my birthday.
Have you read your, I hate that song. Man. I
Bro,
don't know that
That's
song.
what I'm saying, bro.
He's up, man. Nah, mess with that, bro.
Bro. And you know what? I think he put that Too Sexy song on that specifically because he knows that people either hate or love that song.
That's all hard.
But it drives traffic to it. Because people gonna be like, yo, you ain't heard that trash ass Drake song? And what do people do? Go to that trash ass Drake song. And they either like it or hate it, but it's the word of mouth and it keeps going. That track just charts.
Bruh. Don't care. Way too sexy. It's hard.
Can you relax? You listen to that song
It's
one time.
just-
You just-
It's
the hardest. It's the hardest song.
It's
Shut
hard.
up.
You just mad.
Just shut up. No, bro. That song
you
is
like
so hard.
you like-
Come on, bro.
He only like lyrics.
You don't like Future?
But when
No,
you
listen.
when you put
I
Future
understand
on
what
track,
Future
it's
brings.
boss.
Yeah.
I understand what Future brings. He brings an energy that's dope, and I get that, right? Am I gonna listen to his album of his?
Why
I
not?
feel that.
Have you
Because-
ever heard
because-
6 Nights?
No, you gonna do this again? You've done this before. This is gonna be like a deja vu type joint.
Alright.
You
Bro,
don't
I
like
get it.
March Madness? No.
I did not like March Madness.
You're like, what?
I don't like Future. So I don't like Future like that, right? It's I like some of his songs, they cool, but overall I just can't get with it. And I didn't listen to him for the longest time because this one over here started to introduce me
You gotta let that go.
to the wrong song. The first song he played on me from Future was shit.
You can't keep playing. You can't keep blaming.
That shit hard.
Like, he was, listen, bro, he was so ecstatic to be playing it like, yo, you gotta listen to this, dog. It's this dude called Future, he raw as hell. And I remember, because I was still staying on 70 for the
But
time.
hold on.
We was walking to Western.
Wait. Hold on. Here's the thing though. That wasn't the only song I played. I played everything else. And that's the only song
I didn't
he
get a good
remembered.
introduction to Future either. My first song was Turn Off the Lights, man.
But that shit cool.
Turn off the lights.
I'm looking for a clue.
You didn't like Turn Off the Lights? I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but it's catchy.
This is
though.
not. It's like. I think part of it though is that when you get introduced to a song like that, you also got to hear all your homies sing it all the time, and that don't help it if you don't like it. Listen, you got to hear them sing all the time. You like, yeah,
That's fair.
y'all don't sound like him. I don't like how he sound. So what's up?
That's fair.
I'm just
While you was in the bathroom, I asked him, where do you rank Donda in Kanye's discography?
Oh, Donda. So if I'm going, I flip flop so much. I'm like Dark Twisted Fantasy is number 1, 2. Late registration. 3, college dropout. 4, 808s. I feel like working backwards is better looking at this point. So last one on it, Life of Pablo. It's the bottom of it, which is saying something if you really think about that. Like, but Life of Pablo is at the bottom of the list. I'm about to piss Darius off, but Ye's probably the second one off of that. Yeah. Ye's I've heard of that. Ooh,
Go ahead and say it.
damn, I'm
I know you're
scared.
a Christian.
Oh yeah, Jesus came. Yeah, that right there. You're right. Yeah, Jesus came. You know what? Sing.
I like how he slipped that in there. Go ahead and say it. You were Christian. Go ahead and say it.
Jesus, I forgot about that. I forgot. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, Graduation, and then I'm probably putting Donda right there,
are we including
Right.
mixtapes?
and then I'm putting
Graduation that low.
Jesus right above that.
But graduation that low. Damn.
That's
we
it.
not
Listen,
ever heard
listen,
nobody
listen,
we're not included.
here's my thing. For some reason, I just have this real big feeling that like a year from now, we're gonna start talking about Donda like it might be a top 3 Kanye album. Because like when you get through the meat and like this is a dense album. You can't just like get it all the first listen. But like the more I listen to it now, I'm like, nah, Buddy is like actually like saying something to this whole thing. At the same time, he's pushing the needle with all of this. So I feel like when we all get on the same page of like understanding what he was actually conceptually doing, similar to how what Yeezus was, because I was also like, what is this? But then I am oh my nigga. This man was me. Come on, that stuff is like it's hard, bro. So I think at some point, I don't know if top 3, but definitely top 5. It'll be a top 5 project for him. Like my favorite song of that was "Praise God," bro. Have you heard like that one where like he serves his mom like in the chorus like. And he's like, and the whole concept between his album is like he's has these elements of God in it like that, but also he's honoring like his mother through the whole thing. And so there's constant like sonically he's visiting past previous like Kanye albums to construct this one that's honoring this woman that had this impact over his entire life to make him who he is. And so I'm feeling like I'm hearing that in this album too. It's all these influences that made him to who he is into this whole Donda album. And so I can't sit and pretend like it's gonna be that low forever, but I think it's right now.
So I don't think that's going. I want to ask you this, right? I want to try to not be impartial, but I want to try to play devil's advocate. I know me as a Kanye fan too. I've also been guilty of this.
Making excuses for him.
No, kind of sort of. So I'm asking.
Yeah.
So everything that you're saying about this concept of him revisiting past versions and honoring his mom, is that what he's actually doing, or is that what you're assuming that he's doing, and we're going this because he's Kanye and saying that he's a genius and he's doing all this?
That's what I'm feeling.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying that you're doing that.
Right, yeah.
I'm just saying because a lot of times Kanye fans be like, "Oh no, Kanye's a genius. You just don't understand him. He's doing this, that, and the third."
I don't think I'm making excuses for the genius that I think he is.
I was gonna say though,
I just
if I come with an album, I'm gonna need you to promote man. Like
it's just
nigga sell man like that.
yeah. Nah, I think it's just there's just a sense about it because I don't think like yeah the album's named Donda, but it's not like this man's promo was all about him talking about his mother. That's not what it is. But that's what I'm sensing when I'm listening to this. That's what I'm feeling when I'm listening to it. Right when I get to a song like what is it? Believe. I forgot what the name of the track is. But he samples that Lauryn Hill song. And that's College Dropout Kanye to the max in terms of like taking the sample the way he did and using it that way like that to like make it a groove, right? Because it wasn't like he was just using it for sounds; he was using it to make a whole groove out of it. Yeah. That's visiting old elements of Kanye and making this project this type of way that he is, right? And he's using like a lot of the artists that he used on different tracks. Some of them are doing what they normally do, but some of them are doing something that they had never done before. Like when I heard think about the song with like Conway the Machine and West Side Gun, that's not a typical song that they would make. But he made it work with them, right? Yeah. But then there's moments where he does a Travis Scott song, Praise God. That sounds like a Travis Scott record. Or like the one he did Off the Grid with 5004. Like that's drill, so that makes sense for him. But he's doing this whole thing, and I don't know, man. I maintain that he's like I heard Lil Yachty rapping on this album. I don't remember a song like that, but I never heard Lil Yachty rapping like that.
Was it okay?
I think so, yeah. But he's just like. But I mean, I hear Lil Yachty rap like that. Like that's what Kanye does. So I think that at the end of the day, we might be looking at a top 5 album of his a year from now, or a couple weeks or months from now, when everybody's actually ready to digest all of it. Because I don't think that we're gonna get real good like reviews or people's feelings about it because we're in the Drake and Kanye and the Kendrick might be dropping next week zone right now. First of all, that Family Ties joint.
On your top 5.
Yeah, yo, that Family Ties joint. I'm not gonna lie, that is a power move if I ever like. All this stuff's going on, and Kendrick's just been chilling this whole time. And all of a sudden, he's just like, "Oh, by the way, I'm back," and cooked everybody. I was so cold. And like I'm slowly starting to realize that like Baby Keem is legit. Oh, no, like I'm like, oh, this He has a song here I like, song here I like. But Baby Keem is hard because he's on the song Praise God I was talking about on the Donda album, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's he did that.
So, all right. So if we're gonna talk, all right. So first, it's gonna be my beautiful productions fantasy, all right? 808s and Heartbreak. I would personally put 808s and Heartbreak over My Music Talk Fancy.
Let me interrupt you real quick. I just asked this. We include mixtapes too?
What?
Because 808s and Heartbreak when the album was
It was out. It was out. It was out.
I thought it was a mixtape.
No, it was
out.
My bad, continue.
No, because like with 808s and Heartbreak, like I can listen to that every day, all day, and I get tired of it. I've done that for like a month straight. Just played all of it, and I got tired of it all. But yeah, those two, I would put Graduation. I would put Late Registration, College Dropout. I would put Yeezus, The Life of Pablo, Donda, and Ye.
I felt like Life of Pablo had a bunch of skips. Like it felt like I'm gonna leave it at that. But leave it at this point. It's like I felt like Life of Pablo, you had like 4 or 5 certified slappers, but then you had songs in between that was just like.
I think Life of Pablo is better looked at as a playlist or a mixtape rather than an album. And if you look at it from that way, it's a lot more acceptable.
But it's an album.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because
Yeah, I ain't trying to all that.
no, like because
Let me address this real
go ahead,
quick.
wait.
If you reading this, it's too late.
Hey, you just go back
No,
out.
man,
Go back
no.
out. You know what? I listened to it a few times. Nothing about it stuck out to me. It felt like there were songs on it that were fire. I felt like the first like 6 or 7, but after that we get into like the little more like Jungle was dope. But after I mess with it. But like there's like or like the last what was it something
Star
in
67?
Calabasas?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, Star
6
7
a.m.
is one of the first 7. That's what I'm saying. First 7, and then like
6 a.m. in New York, 6 p.m. in New York.
6 p.m. in New York. Is that what it is?
6
Okay. Like cool.
But you like Star 67?
No, Star 67 is one of the first 7 tracks. I said all of those first 7 were good.
No.
And then after that, I'm iffy on it. I'm iffy on it. It's just cool.
Like I'm saying, that's just all Drake.
Going back real quick to Life of Pablo. So I got the checklist right now because you made an interesting point. Like it's about 4 or 5 solid things and everything else kind of skip.
Right.
So we go through it real quick. Ultra Light Game.
Not a
Yeah.
skip. It's not a skip.
That's good.
I haven't heard Life of Pablo for it.
Okay. It's okay. Just let it.
Father Stretch My Hands.
I heard
Not a
that
skip.
song.
That's a play.
Wait, Father Trust My Hand is beautiful. Yeah. No, not a skip. Not a skip.
Part 2.
Skip.
I mean,
It's just Panda. Like it's just
it is
Panda. So what?
It
Like
is Panda.
skip.
So I can feel it. I can feel a skip.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
Panda.
It's just Panda. Skip. Yeah.
Famous.
That's
Famous.
play.
Oh, wait. What's famous?
Father, we got dick.
Oh,
Kanye
yeah.
West,
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Okay, so far we have 3 hits.
Okay.
Feedback.
That's a play.
Give me
Wake up! We about to get the table. Under your baby.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a hit. That's a hit too.
Low Lights.
No lights. That's no.
I will play it, but I can see it being a skip.
Yeah.
That's a play for me, but it might be a skip.
It's a skip.
Highlights.
That's a play.
That's a play. That's a play.
Freestyle 4.
That's a skip. That's a play. What the fuck right now? Oh, right now, that's the shit.
I Love Kanye. Are we counting I Love Kanye?
Man,
Kanye. Skip.
it's a skip.
It's part of the album.
It's a
You
skip.
can't be partial.
Waves.
You can't be partial.
That's a play.
This play.
Fuck My Life.
That's a play.
That's a hard play.
Real Friends.
Okay.
That's a
you guys-
play.
Sorry,
That's a
we
play.
got- You're starting to make a point. That's a play. That's a
That's
play.
a play. That's a play. Wolves.
I can skip that, but I can be a play because
What makes
Sia
me
came in there.
angry? What makes me angry is that the version he did on Saturday Night Live was so hard. The album version was not what it was.
Yeah.
But the version they did live was like I watched that video like every day for like probably like 3 weeks because I was like, this is so hard. So this is a skip for me.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's 2 things I want to talk about. All right. I need to know this. All right. So Frank's track.
Skip.
Silver Circle. Interdiction.
But that's just
Like
you
a
talking.
yeah.
That's why I listen, man. I said the same thing about
Yeah.
same thing about
Well,
Lil Kanye.
this is skip. Counts. It's not part of the album.
30 hours.
That's a play.
That's a play. That's easy play.
No more parties in LA.
That's a play. That's a play.
Ooh, you on the fence about it.
Kendrick? That's a skip for me. I love Kendrick too, but that's a skip for me.
Facts.
Ooh, remind me.
Y'all know y'all done said y'all play like half this album. And y'all make it like about. I know
No,
it's so
I
funny,
get that.
but I'm a little concerned now because it's like
Facts. What's facts, bro?
I feel like Facts is that the Jumpman one where easy just a jump or a
That's a
Jumpman?
skip for me. Honestly,
I think that's the one. That could be a skip.
Yeah.
Fade.
Fade is a
That's
bump.
that's a
Yeah.
pop. Yeah,
That's getting played. That's getting played.
St. Paulo.
skip.
That's the outro. Yeah, that's the outro.
I like it. But yeah, judging by what we skipped, it's still.
that's a whole album.
So
Yeah.
when you brought up Wolves, I remember Vic Mensa being on that because he was on that. But when the album came out, like Kanye took him off.
Yes.
Right. Now, we fast forward to Donda. All these rappers are upset they got took off Donda, like Kanye ain't did before, like Kanye ain't, or don't. Like, sit up there and go back and add stuff and take stuff back when the album's out and get this with like Pablo.
Right.
Do you think that they have a valid point in being upset,
No.
even though that they know Kanye does this?
No.
Would it
Bro,
matter?
you literally, you. How much these niggas get paid for a feature?
That's what I'm saying.
So no, shut up. Like you tried, you failed.
Yeah.
You didn't. You failed the test.
That's
Oh well, like you done. You don't get to cry about it now.
Especially Soulja Boy after he showed us what he put out there.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
didn't even hear it, dude.
He previewed it.
Was
in
it
the
trash?
That's what I'm saying. But
When he said you actually worked with it, I was like, how would a soldier would have fit in this?
That's
All
what
of
I'm
a sudden,
saying.
you just you.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if Ye paid you for your verse already, regardless of whether it's on or off, like I wouldn't be that mad. Like the artist, in me, the artist in me would probably be a little bit feel the kind of ways. He'd be like, yo, like,
Cause okay, for one, let me just put it like this: for one, you call somebody garbage. Maybe not necessarily, but if he never puts it on anything else, it's like it wasn't that good.
But also, like,
but it's
crazy
Kanye
thing,
though.
the
Kanye
crazy
is
thing is, it's not
But
like
even
Kanye
if he
even
did-
publicized the features though. So that's the real problem. It's like he didn't publicize that he put them on there and then took them off. You made it clear. You let us know that you got kicked off. Like that's on you. Like you feel embarrassed, but nobody was gonna know.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. So then I look at it like this. Okay, so let's say you make an album. Aren't you entitled to put on whatever you feel?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. No.
Right. So
Sure.
I think even if it wasn't something he did as a normal thing, it's still an artist's choice on what they want to put on their album. How you know what you put on this one won't go on another one? And that's a way of looking at it. But it's like, why you have to be on?
And with you saying that, so to piggyback off what you're saying about it being an artist project, they will do what they want to do with it. People were upset that Drake wasn't talking about anything that was going on in the world.
I don't know what they expected him to do. This nigga.
When has he ever?
Never.
I mean, that's not what motherfuckers want to hear, bro. Motherfuckers want to be sexy in the mirror.
I noticed that the other day though. I didn't notice that like yesterday though. I was like, he said nothing. Like throughout the entire the whole pandemic, like Black Lives Matter stuff, all that bro, this man was nowhere to be found.
The only thing that he said was a relevant topic was when he says, I smoke niggas on and off the track like Shakira. That's the only thing that was like of relevant times in the whole album. Like nothing's really.
The world understands he's Canadian, right?
There's a point.
He's not
But he rep Houston like he from.
Yeah.
he rep Houston and Memphis.
And Atlanta.
But
And Atlanta.
And Calabasas.
They Calabasas. Yeah. The nigga do live here. He want to. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Tory Lanez talking about. He's
But
talking
he
about Black Lives Matter. He shoot niggas down there. You don't care.
We know where that nigga stands.
Yes. You know where he. Yes. You know where he is.
You know where that nigga stands. He don't like feet.
Tory Lanez
That's
hates
not
black
supposed
women.
to be funny, bro. Oh,
Oh,
that's not funny. We gonna get canceled.
that's not what I'm trying to say. But no, like I feel
Season 3.
Season 3.
No, like I feel like I don't know, man. Like I just think that people just want to be in an uproar about anything. Cause like Drake has never been political at all. He's never made no type of political kept saying like, yo, BLM, like nothing. And I don't blame them for it, because see, I'm one of the rare type of people that I don't look for celebs to say what should be right and what's wrong.
That's one.
If we do that, then we forever gonna be stuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So
What you mean America been doing that, bro? Ronald Reagan was an actor.
I know.
What was president? Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bodybuilder.
Say his last name one more time.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Strong motherfucker.
What's it? How you say
Arnold
it?
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. He sounded like that. He sounded like that.
I like Schwarzenegger.
That's his name.
Schwarzenegger.
Okay, when I
Use
okay,
that short
I'll put it like this: Black people, if we just sit up there and we just wait for a celeb to say something, we gonna be waiting. Because you know how many celebs said something about the whole Black Lives Matter stuff?
Hey,
A lot of them did.
and this is so wrong. Do you ever think back to 9/11 with Ja Rule?
Ja Rule?
And when they spell, we.
That's not fun. And we coming up on the anniversary. Come on. Come
It's
on.
not what
I don't
happened.
know what
That's
you're talking
funny.
about, bro.
Okay, so Dave Chappelle did a stand up, bro, and he was talking about it, and he was like, why did they interview Ja Rule? They're like, Ja Rule, what you think about it? He's like, who cares? Like what do we care what you gotta say? Like, no, like,
Was that Dave Chappelle? He was like,
oh yeah.
who gives a fuck what Ja Rule
I just thought it came to my mind, but
That's kind of sick for this to happen 9/11 and the camera pans to Ja Rule.
like, bro, right? Like, I don't want to know what you, like, no, like, but that's what America does, bro. Like, what they were talking about, how they was like, they was mad because Cardi B don't let her daughter listen to WAP. They was like, yeah, I wouldn't let a 3-year-old listen to that. Like, that's personal preference. Like, they're like, but you make the music and you ain't gonna let your own daughter listen to it? Like,
They think celebrities rule the world. They think celebrities rule the world.
but that's the.
Because I mean, they have the platform to be the voice, so they expect them to do it.
But that's accountability. But I mean, and if I'm transparent, they're not innately wrong for wanting somebody to hold a platform to do the right thing and say the right thing. But when you look at that industry, it's like, come on, man, what you expect? Like, what you expect? Like, what do you truly expect to come from that? But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't see. I won't ever. Like when Lil Wayne spoke about it, you seen how the backlash it got. Like,
When you finally hear how they really think, how they
Yeah.
feel,
yeah,
and now you upset and like.
Lil Wayne got a lot of backlash for his, and it's like, bro, it's like,
I didn't like Wayne's reasoning though. Like we can agree to disagree on like whatever, right? But he was like, one experience in my life meant to me that nobody's racist. And that's just not how life works. That's not how life works. Like that made me mad. I know people are listening to him like, oh, Wayne said it, and I'm like, nigga, that nigga did a lot of lean. It's not making a lot of sense right now. Okay, all right.
I mean, like him making it a generality, yes. But I think a lot of them just do it like for sales. Like it's like, all right, I'm not gonna hurt my bottom line. So it's like I don't agree with it, but it's like I see you doing that. I'm not mad at you.
It's just obvious that Drake has a goal to be like the guy who sells the most records. He wants to be a pop star. He wants to be the Michael Jackson of this generation. Like that. And he's doing everything it takes to be that, which means he don't do nothing out of care. Like he doesn't do anything to hurt nobody, piss nobody off. He says it's not political. He just is a star. That's what he does, and he's kind of doing what we all should want them to do: is to do your art, do your craft, and go be somewhere at that and live your life, right? Impact the people that you got to impact like that, but don't be an ambassador for the rest of the world, or like you know what I mean? Like that's what you're like. Stay in your lane, right? So,
and that's the thing too. It's like when you do speak politically and whatnot, like you paint yourself into a corner. because when everything was going on last year with George Floyd and everything else like that, that's how J. Cole got caught up, so to speak.
Talking about the whole.
Quote unquote caught up.
You talking about the no name thing?
Yeah, because people were asking like, yo, so where is the Kendricks and the J. Cole? Why aren't they saying some of this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't agree with what they're saying, trying to call you out about it, but I understand why they're calling you out about it. It's like you made songs and references and talked about, you know, social injustice and all this stuff before, and now that the big social injustice is happening. Yeah.
But no. I felt like that was the dumb part. It was like, oh, so these guys have been here the entire time, and then all of a sudden, I'm mad they're not here for this moment.
No,
They've been here the entire time. Like y'all, that don't make no sense. Like when we would come for Kendrick, it was like I saw the memes on that. They were like, oh, so y'all mad that Kendrick's not at the protest? But this man was talking about this entire like last album that he's put out.
Yeah.
But now you wanted to show
y'all only outside
Yeah.
when somebody gets killed,
Yeah.
but y'all wasn't outside before that.
Right. Also, no, people be forgetting we were in a pandemic. Like I wanted to be out there, but I wasn't about to bring a pandemic back to my house.
Yeah.
That's facts.
So like these people slept still people.
But I mean, they were out there protesting. They didn't just because they weren't out there loudly. But I mean, you saw them marching. I mean,
I saw Kendrick eventually. But then I wonder if how much of that was even like I don't know that I would say Kendrick is somebody who makes decisions based on other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But I wonder how much of it may have been fueled by the fact that he didn't show up before and he like finally did pop up because there was questions about it until he did.
Yeah.
But like I don't know.
All right, so let me ask y'all a question. Y'all are celeb. Y'all speaking on political issues?
Yeah, I mean political issues. I don't know. I'm speaking on my faith though. That's for sure. Because at the end of the day, like I'm not here to be political. I feel like because my faith doesn't fall in the political party. So I'm gonna be about my faith. That's what I'm gonna be about. If it polarizes, then it polarizes. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Like that's what it's about. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna be political. Like I'm not gonna like vouch for a certain like politician for office or X, Y, and Z like that. Like I'm just gonna maintain. I'm gonna maintain that like this is where I stand with my faith like that, and that's what it is. I'm not gonna use it to get people to vote a certain way. That just seems kind of goofy to me.
It's easy for me to say that now. Like be like, this is what I would do, but like being a celebrity, not even knowing what type of celebrity I would be, I can't even like get at that right answer or give you that answer that I would do. It's like if I would get famous off of like podcasting, that's me voicing my opinion. So that's easy for me to say, oh, I can speak out on this. But if I'm Drake making music or something like that, I'm probably not going to do that because I want to go out to a broader audience and try to narrow it down to this certain people. So I'm going to alienate someone else or another group. So it's hard to say that, but I would think to myself, yes, I would be vocal about those things, especially if it's something about like, black people and pushing black people forward. Then yes, 100%. But other things like what president exists, Republicans, Democrats, all that, like.
I think I would, because we had an episode back last season with one of my friends, Lucinda, and like shouts out to that guy. That guy got a lot of knowledge. Like he talked, like he knew a lot about like the political stuff and like all the terminology and stuff like that. Stuff that we don't learn in high school and everything. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I feel like if I were to get famous like that, I would most definitely educate myself so I can speak to that and then be able to break it down for us. You know what I'm saying? That we didn't get that in school so we can know what's going on. Do you know what a filibuster is?
Yeah.
Do you know what a filibuster is?
Heard of it. You can't break it down.
Do you know what a filibuster is? Exactly. And I'm not trying to do this to shame nobody. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's just...
Basically, it's just when a politician during their whole voting thing, they stand up and just talk for as long as they can, and it's just a stalling technique, just to like when they're like, I guess you call it lobbying for certain laws to get made or to be passed upon. So they just literally just stand there and just talk. It could be about nothing. It could not even pertain to like.
Did you learn this in school, outside of school?
Outside of school, of course.
Thank you. That's my main thing. It's like, and if I were to be like a celeb like that, like I said, like I would educate myself and maybe have a podcast or have like something where I could break down these terminologies and stuff they use on the news all the time when it comes to voting. Because a lot of us black people, we look and see who's Democrat, who's Republican, and social media views them, and then I'm not gonna say everybody is black, but a lot of black people like that's how they form. Yeah, that's how they form their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Sadly. But if there was somebody able to break things down that was like on a level that, you know, black people like respected or looked up to or whatnot, so they could break all of that down, so we can all watch it together, like how we all watch award ceremonies as a family, we can watch a debate as a family. And when they start using words and terminologies that we're not used to, you're like, oh no, I learned from such and such. Now I know what this terminology means. Now I know what you're saying. I don't really like that. You're not getting my vote. Rather than the age-old time black person is like, oh, Republicans good, Democrats no. Democrats good, Republicans bad.
So
Like
basically, just people getting more information and making informed decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought of a really, really, really simple way to describe a filibuster. And it's basically like if you like into it with somebody and like a group of people and then they catch you and you just start talking, trying to stall for help. That's a filibuster.
You got a booger in your nose.
Hey man,
Your shoe untied.
hey man, you know everybody do things, man. You really don't want to do, man. You remember that time I seen you in 6th grade, man? You needed that sneaker, and I gave it to you. That's a filibuster.
You know,
I just thought about this.
bro,
Somebody should start a segment like that. Just breaking down, just informational stuff.
you know, I missed y'all. I swear I did, yo. This was good. James, my guy, appreciate you for being here. Yes, sir. Do you have anything that's coming out? Anything that you're doing? You know what I'm saying?
And start Twitch.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like anything that you're doing?
Not yet. If something comes up, I'll let you know. Might be bad. You never know.
Man, definitely come with that Twitch account.
Word. You got any socials you want to go out there, or you just good?
I got a fan page out there. It's not me.
Oh, I thought you got an OnlyFans page. You said a fan page.
No, it's Twitter, bro. Twitter.
You said a fan page.
Fan page that.
No, it's-
It's
Wow.
2021.
Why?
When somebody
but
says a
why
fan page,
is the first thing that comes to your mind only?
I'm the only
fan
thing I
page. How many what?
Yeah.
How many what?
It's been a great episode.
We
Thanks for joining us.
didn't even introduce ourselves.
We did, but I was going to get. He was rusted, so it's okay.
Yeah, he was like,
Hey, it's
It happened.
season
Season 3.
episode 1.
Yeah, if you don't know, now you know.
we shouldn't call this episode 1.
What do you?
That's not gonna be episode. It's only episode 45.
You should Drake it and call it an interlude.
This filibuster.
That's the title. My man.
Was it?
I like when playing comes together. It's cool. I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, please take care of one another. Be kind to one another. And as always, forevermore, love.
So this is what we do.